tournament organizers develop these players, and that's why we see such strong representation from so many different regions. And we're getting into this game, Fiend versus Megd on Demon Island.
Oh, and already with Fiend on the Wukong, he's been sticking with it in singles so far today, and Megd has been on Val all the way through. We're going right to Demon Island, and I'm so interested to find out how Fiend's playstyle is going to react with Megd here as they're fighting for that rematch against Luna in Grand Finals. Megd so far with the gauntlets looking for that perfect opening, and he finds it, but right away Fiend with the wake-up side air gets the second side air to punish, and the double nair as Megd tries to flee to the skies, and Fiend chases him all the way up.
AJ Moore is from North America.
Okay.
In United States. So I was incorrect there. But still, the sentiment is still absolutely 100% true. Duke, tell us about what we're seeing so far 45 seconds into this game.
I mean, Fiend, of course, classic play. It's going to be that spear. It's the thing that's been working so well for him throughout the entirety of the event. It's worked out for him for so long, and he's going to get the end-sig read that he wanted so badly on Machete.
Tossing up these spears. Yo, Megd came in quick with that one. He actually got the weapon away from Fiend, and then the other one despawned. So this whole weapon starving thing that Fiend has been doing so effectively, Megd just completely nullified it, has the weapon in his hand, and now the weapon advantage. Swords a flying. Now Megd is the one stripping the field of all weapons, throwing the gauntlets away. What is he doing? Megd's going crazy. Still control of the weapon.
That was amazing, and Sparky, I love that you're highlighting him about how he's interrupting that flow that Fiend likes to have with the weapon starving, and it's almost like him setting himself up for each next engagement. When a stock goes down, he throws that weapon up, tosses another one to the ground, resets, but if Megd can interrupt that, I wonder how much that's going to throw Fiend off as we get into the rest of the set.
I mean, Megd's thrown off a lot of players throughout the entirety of his competitive career, right? He's been kind of known for having that odd pacing that North Americans generally struggle against, and of course, the South Americans who've never had to play against Megd before might struggle as well, as Megd is up big against Fiend right now in game number 1.
We go from seeing this like incredibly back and forth tug of war set. All of a sudden in game 1, Megd is in complete control of this game. He seems to be the one who is making Fiend feel uncomfortable, which is no small task. This sword is incredible. We haven't seen too many gauntlet plays so far. It's been this sword. And like, who needs gauntlets, brother? When you have a sword like, yo, when you have a spear like that, who needs gauntlets too?
That's that moment where Fiend was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna keep going with these pogos until you finally dodge out of the way. But he got 3, went for 4, got a ton of damage, but he still hasn't gotten the stock, and he falls into that neutral light with a low amount of jumps. Megd goes for that neutral sig, doesn't quite hit. Fiend goes for the D-light. The second D-light hits, and he knows the dodge is gone, so what's that? A double D-light recovery, and Fiend takes all the way up to the skies to make sure that spear takes as much time in the air as he can.
Really good recognition of the burn dodge. It's what worked so well earlier. He holds it long enough, and it hits onto Megd.
What a crazy player, dude. I'm telling you. Fiend does, it's not even just like he plays spear unlike anyone else. It's like everything that Fiend does is totally unique to him as a player. And honestly, Megd is kind of a unique player himself as well, who has established his own player identity. Taza, you talk about this all the time, right as Megd takes game 1. If we didn't have player tags above their names, you would know this was Megd. You would know this was Fiend. And in a relatively short career for someone like Megd, that's incredible. You look at some of the big names who have their truly own unique play styles. There's not that many. Java's one of them, Fiend's one of them, Megd's one of them. I'm sure y'all can name a few yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, is it sad that the first one always comes to my mind as a little cap?
Hey, he signed up for BCX. We're going to get to see it again.
For those that don't know, the stomping to nothing is my favorite. It's my favorite little cap trademark. But yes, Sparky, you're absolutely right. There are just some things that players do where you see that, and as long as you see it more than once, you're going to be like, I know who's playing on the screen. And Megd and Fiend are definitely 2 of those players.
I almost think that it's one of those things that, like, in order to be a top player, you kind of have to find that thing that makes you iconic. Boomy's got his own thing, Sandstorm's got his own thing, even Luna has his own thing, and they're all kind of showing off, like, this is my trademark that makes me so good, and suddenly, Fiend has to make the swap to Queen Nai in game number 2?
Bro, there's so many people that are absolutely losing their mind right now.
This does...
Photo's one of them.
Wait. Okay, Sparky, bring up the stats again. I'm pretty sure Queen Nai is not at all in Fiend. reported
it's
legends.
in the list.
Is it in the list?
He's played Queen Nai before, but it's still
not in
rare.
2022. Okay, there's 26 and 2021. Okay.
It's still his third most picked.
Yeah.
Behind the Hattori, behind the
But
Hasuri.
this year it has not been picked.
He's
right?
not reported.
And so this is very awesome to see because it's been a while. Although what I fear, Duke, is it is about as far away from Hattori as you could get when it comes to movement speed. It actually is literally the farthest away that you can get. And I feel like that's a very huge trademark of Fiend's play going into this year.
I mean, the trade-off is you're coming in with a lot of defense, but
Yeah.
as we've seen, that kind of doesn't matter as Megd
On Brawlhalla,
is basically a full stock up, and he's going to get the punish onto that gravity cancel Lensig, and he's getting more. He's getting away with so much and not getting hurt for it.
You also got to look at the strength that Queen Nai brings to the table, and you look at the damage that's on Megd over a minute into this game. If the defense isn't mattering and the strength isn't mattering, it seems like Megd already has a handle on how to beat this character choice. Up 2 stocks, he's not even orange yet. He just hit a double D-Light on Sword. Who was doing that before? Who has that so central to their playstyle, the double D-Light? It's Fiend, and now all of a sudden we have Megd doing it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the Queen Nai was, because you said, Sparky, in the last game, we saw almost no gauntlets. And Fiend has been dismantling a lot of gauntlet players throughout the duration of the Midseason Championship. But the main problem here for Fiend is the sword. And I wonder if he was thinking, all right, let's go to Queen Nai. Let's see if this can deal with this problem that Megd's given me. The D-Light Slider gets him, but that's 1 stock of 3 that goes down as Fiend is here on 1 stock himself.
Yeah, Megd did so much work on the first stock, and it's definitely, like Taza said, that sword that's been doing so incredibly well.
Let's go, Fiend! Let's go! That was the craziest thing I've ever seen!
Negated everything!
Double net recovery, neutral sig, Fiend's the craziest player in the world, the Queen Nai. He's gonna do it, Sparky. That's the comeback. Can Megd come back from that? That's 0 to death?
I feel like we straight up got baited. With the start of that, you were like, oh, okay, he's going to do something cool here. Okay, we scream because it's surprising. And then all of a sudden, he's like, oh, boys, buckle up. I am not done yet.
Neutral sig, D-Light, neutral sig?
This is why you picked this character. Okay, so I want to dissect this just a little bit. I know we're getting down into this game, but picking this Queen Nai here in Game 2 means he doesn't have to do this when he's down 0-2 in a possibly more serious situation, but Megd might just take it away, Taza!
He dodges in. Does he go in for the down light? The down stick hits. That's 2 down sticks. That's him now. The third one just barely avoided Megd's.
You can't punish it.
The third one, just keep going.
You can't punish it.
You haven't been hit yet. Just keep putting out the down sticks. He dodges to the other side of the stage. Does he switch over? And of course he doesn't. He's a spear main. He wants to hold on to that spear against Megd. He doesn't want to risk dropping this weapon down with the D-Light. Double D-Light slider. He's living. It's that Queen Nai never dies, Duke.
That high defense working out for Fiend, but he gets disarmed, which is the most critical problem. And now the recovery, Megd with all the weapon advantage. Fiend hoping for a lucky spawn, but it won't matter as Megd gets another one. Up 2-0.
So going down 0-2 from Fiend, he's now tried the Queen Nai. So if that didn't work, if he doesn't feel confident in this after this game, he can go back to the Wu Shang knowing he tried the secondary pick. I kind of actually like picking that in Game 2. He does his experimentation when everything is not on the line if we were going into a Game 3 with that. So honestly, beyond the idea of like, I'm going to take you off the top in yellow because I'm Queen Nai, I think that actually is a really intelligent decision coming out from
Is that
Fiend.
a Queen Nai thing? I guess it is now.
I mean, you have Insig up there. If you hit someone in yellow with that with Oliver's strength, I don't think very many other characters could do that.
I mean, Brins do it.
He did
Brins
neutral
can do
sig, D-Light, neutral sig. Oh my goodness. Best of 5s are too short.
Look, I'll tell you one thing though. That
we have production here, bro. We
graphic
can't
on
keep
the
here all
bottom,
day, bro. Come on.
I bet you it's not wrong. I think he's locked in on the Kaya. He's sticking with the spear.
Okay.
But he's going to be busting out the Kaya for game number 3.
It really does feel like he's searching for that. Okay, the sword is really clobbering me, and he's looking for the right signature kit while still keeping the spear because he knows that's what's been keeping him in. And Kaya also pretty tanky as far as legends go within the game. We're going into Mammoth Fortress, and here we go. Game 3, Fiend's back against the wall. Let's see how it plays out here as Megd has been incredibly difficult for him to stop.
He has not, I don't think ever hardly, unless it was like literally one time, reported a Kaya in tournament. I'm looking at what his level is on this character. I don't know if it's very high whatsoever.
I mean, he'll have that carryover from the Koji, right? He's got some bow play. Of course, we've seen his spear play throughout the entirety of of his history, so there's no surprise to see him stick with something like this. Kaya, it is going to be a little bit interesting. We'll see if he has those SIG reads on lock, like the recovery with the GCN SIG or the side light into the down SIG, but right now Megd looking to be dismantling again against Fiend.
Ooh, and Megd avoids the neutral SIG. Fiend gets the dash jump nair. Second dash jump nair. Will he go for it again? Of course he will. 3 nairs in a row, and the neutral light in the wrong direction, but with the right idea brings Megd into orange. They're both dash jumping around each other. Megd gets the hit, disarms Fiend, and the side air from the gauntlets and the weapon throw means that Megd is going to take that first stock here going to game 3.
Some fantastic weapon tosses from Megd as he kind of dances around a little bit, wants to lay that next weapon spawn as long as possible, and it's back to the sword again. Megd's sword has just been on point against Fiend.
He's coming in with this level 26 Kaya. His highest bow legend is Koji at level 34, so it's not like he's played a lot of Koji and he's carrying that over into the Kaya. He hasn't really played much bow, period. He's a little bit behind here, but not very much, so he's likely going to focus on the spear, of course, as much as he can, as he has one of the best, if not the best spears in the entire world. Of course, we're on Mammoth Fortress. There is a weapon on the field. Neither player wants it. They have the main weapons that they want. It seemed like Megd was a little bit too slow. It seems like he can't punish that, almost like he couldn't punish the Queen Nice Spear down sig.
Yeah, with you confirming those other bow legends, Sparky, I'm feeling like this is definitely a I want Spear with these signatures in this stat line. And Fiend's going into this edge guard here with the double pogo. He gets it. And Fiend only in orange here, 2 stocks to 2. But this is match point. He's got to win this game and take 2 more. Let's see if he can get that damage lead back.
He made the active decision to stick with the bow for these second stocks. He's hoping the range advantage will work out for him as these nairs start to juggle. Majete, a nice neutral light, second neutral light. His bow's looking good.
3 neutral lights to Megd. He's got to be getting sick of that, right? 3 nairs, 3 end lights, and Fiend tries to catch him on that weapon. Megd has been brought into orange purely from impressing the neutral light, right? He's not even holding the direction of his attacks.
It's a good button to press. He's got the edge guard opportunity. No ground pound comes out, and Megd picks up the NSIG read on the panic jump from Fiend, and Fiend's staying stacked. Oh, the down SIG doesn't hit.
That was so close to being able to connect there. And Fiend goes up that neutral SIG, and it's the second time Megd's jumped around it and punished it.
Now we're seeing dead even game between these two players. Throwing away those gauntlets, classic Megd that we've seen so far today. A sword player through and through. Beautiful dip down to avoid that. Doesn't avoid that one. Weapon toss coming out. No, may babysit him back. Beautiful side air confirms the KO. We have a lead for Fiend, and he needs it.
I can't believe it, Duke. He's doing it with the bow. You highlighted it at the beginning of that stock. He had an option to prime one weapon over the other, and all the damage buildup and the edge guard was done with the bow.
And it's not even needing that warm-up time that the Queen Knight did. He didn't have to lose 2 stocks before things started coming online. The one thing that's not working great for him, though, is those down SIGs. He keeps throwing them out. He hit 1 out of the 4 we've seen so far, and Megd immediately evens up the stock count.
Has the fresh sword coming in. Fiend going to be looking, putting a lot of space between those two while he waits for that weapon spawn to come in. Grabs the spear. See him starting to play that different play style, that very slow, patient, restraintive play style where he doesn't throw out things willy-nilly, and then he goes for a sidelight in-sig just like that, changing up the pace, goes for it again. Megd sees it coming, gets away from it, and punishes.
I love how bold Fiend is with stuff like that, where if it works once, he's like, I'm going to immediately do it again. It's not even something that he's going to like, I'll try it later on in the set. No, he's going to keep doing it until he finds out that his opponent learns about it, and that's when it gets really scary for Megd, because that means that that's just another option that Fiend can follow up off of a successful side lane.
Yeah, he doesn't have to go straight in with those N6. He can start to mix it up, see how Megd panics into it. And right now he's getting that spacing, going for some weapon toss pressure. Megd is getting closer. Fiend, try not to pick the wrong decision.
Disarms him.
This is so scary for Fiend at this point. He was down 0-2. Final stocks here. Double D-Light! That Kaya defense coming into play. Any other character that he would be playing other than that Queen Knight would probably be taken out there, but this Kaya pick coming in for him. Neutral air still has Megd in the orange. Weapon spawn comes in. Nice little side kick. Away! Not enough to KO. That lower force in the 45-degree angle not helping Fiend out. D-Light recovery. Megd 3-0s. Fiend!
Wow, what a finish there. I saw the neutral SIG for Fiend, and I thought that was the stock going up the top right, but he barely comes back, and that last neutral SIG gets dodged out of the way, and Megd with the D-Light recovery seals the deal, takes it 3-0, and gets that rematch against Luna in the grand finals.
Brazil finishes the run with a third